Welcome back to the Soundation. This is Swaytoven, and every time I have something on my mind about music production or maybe like some sort of tip or trick that I want to know at the time, and then I go on YouTube, it's like the algorithm knows. All right. But honestly, much as a lot of people aren't probably going to be watching this video, I don't really watch many other people's videos anymore unless I really need to know something, only because I want inspiration to be true. All right. And this video is probably about, and not probably about, it's actually about inspiration on where to actually be able to start your beats. All right. But first and foremost, what I find is that a lot of people, and I don't know a lot of people, but what I could possibly imagine, all right, is that a lot of people try to make something new every single day, and that was me. Now, my computer, I just had the system restore because, like, I got a blue screen from, like, the graphics card or something like that. Whatever. Luckily, I had a backup USB, but I'm not even worried about the old work anymore. But, what I've realized, a lot of people try to make a beat every day, and you have to think of it as like a muscle, right? But I probably, if you're sitting down making beats like me, you're not really making muscles, but you have to give your muscles a break, all right? And it's funny, is because I had this thought when I realized 20 days lapsed in between me making beats since last time, all right, in June at least. Last time that happened is when I actually lost my laptop until I got this newer computer. It's been since 2022, and I just started earlier this year, so it's been a little bit over a year. But that uh, time frame, that little hiatus, actually required me to get into the groove a little bit more. I had to start using scales, just major and minor scales, just to remember. But I always had some music theory because I played like the piano and violin when I was younger. All right, but much like a muscle, right? If you're training your muscles, it's okay to give your muscles a break for a couple of days. You can even stop working out for a couple of weeks. You can take a break, right? I mean, if you don't have dreams to be a bodybuilder, then you can take breaks. But with that being said, don't make a correlation saying, "Well, I want to be the bodybuilding, like bodybuilder of music production." All right, you'll eventually tire your brain out. I mean, there's physical fatigue and there's mental fatigue. All right, and to overcome the physical fatigue in bodybuilding, right, people take supplements, right, steroids and stuff like that. Now, unless you can find something that can do that with your mind, and I don't recommend anything, then it really won't work that, right? I feel like, honestly, you need a period of silence, right? We want to call a rest period a period of silence for you to be able to, like, just everything in your mind to kind of just settle, right? Your subconscious or something is like processing everything, reanalyzing everything, rearranging everything, giving your time to actually like learn. So then, like the next time you actually do something, you actually understand how to do something different, how to do something a little bit better. If you are actually trying to get better, it's like when you take that rest period when you're working out, your body has time to rebuild. All right, and I believe once that period of silence has like elapsed, has came to an end, then eventually, you'll find some new inspiration, right? Because what I found is that I was hell bent and trying to make so many different melodies, and like here's the I don't have that many things on my computer any longer because I have to re-download everything, but I think that's a different thing now with the newest FL24, which I do not have. I'm not going to be getting anytime soon. Um, is that trying to make so many melodies? It's I kind of lost my train of thought, right? But then I kind of switched more to focusing on drums. I had that in the back of my mind, like, hey, I need to focus more on my drums anyway, right? You could always make a melody, right? There's so many different ways to make a melody, as long as the melody can loop back together to itself, and it doesn't go too flat, it doesn't go too sharp, all right? It makes sense, right? I believe that you can make a melody out of any sound. Of course, it needs to follow some structures and stuff like that. But when I took the hiatus, right, and I knew that I needed to work on drums anyway, I feel like I started to get my drums a little bit better, right? And even still, I need to work on some things more, right? And that's the thing about even getting better, is because some people, I think, they reach a limit to where they think it sounds good to them, and that's perfectly fine. You're content with the things that you make, all right? But then it's just like, nah, but how does it sound to like everybody else? Obviously, right? And that's when you have to start learning again. I think some people, it's like people talk about reaching like beat block. I'd almost imagine it's just like, well, maybe you simply haven't tried to learn something new. All right, is because with all the knowledge, how can you be limited, right? A lot of people are probably just starting off their beats by just starting off with chords, by just starting off with the melody, or maybe just trying to start off with like the BPM and the hi hat and the snare. And that leads me to my other point, which I was thinking when I was just walking, is that a good way to probably try to start making your beats to get you some inspiration is to just to listen to music outside of the car. Like when cars pass you by and they're slamming music, not the right word, right? But they're blasting music, and you can hear the 808s and the snares, right? I think you should focus on like the timing of that right there, because that's like the crux of all beats, right? The percussions and stuff like that. So anywhere you'll have people saying, yeah, for the snares, follow like the 3/7 pattern, 808s, just make sure it's bouncy, yada yada yada, right? But also you should count it out too, right? And yes, normally you do have the snares for traps, hitting on like the 3 and the 7 and that, all right? But then like listen to how the 808s sound, right? A lot of the times I actually don't hear 808s, jumping over the place. I hear 808s staying like one note, maybe go up one, maybe go down one, all right? But with the songs that I think focus on more of the beat, with the 808s bouncing, they do bounce a lot more. So I don't know, I'm just kind of yapping right there, but just listen to the beats outside of the cars, right, that are driving by. Just hear what can be heard. You know what I'm saying? I think that'll give you a little bit of a starting point for how you can start beats, especially if you don't want to start them from melodies. But I'm just sitting here talking, sounding like, even though I probably don't sound like I know what I'm talking about. This is what this sounds like. I already probably uploaded like a little snippet of it, but like this was just inspired by, I think, this noise right here, right? Because it's just like after trying to make so many melodies, trying to flip and stretch them and reverse them and all that, I was like, you know what? Let me just focus on the beats, right? And I can do that. It's just like this is way simpler, right? So let me see. This is just the Prince chemical uh, climate. I was gonna say something else. These are a little off right here, and I think these little smaller notes sound better. Like when the song plays, added those in last. Actually, believe it or not, doesn't sound too pretty. And this is the pigments. I guess I'm gonna keep using pigments because I keep paying for it off. I guess. I think it's the same. And I'm just kidding, I lied to you guys. This is actually what I started off with, this right here. And then I added this. And then I'm gonna just play it all because it probably sounds like shit anyway. But I really need to work on getting the right sounding drums for the beats. The snare I think is fine, but definitely could be a little bit more out there, I guess. I don't know. But, one thing I never really used to do either is add a sound goodizer on the 808 and stuff like that. Like, let me see. They must have changed this. You can just click on this part and it comes up like this. But, like, added a sound goodizer shop clipper because without this, it sounds like this. Actually, it sounds kind of similar, I'm not gonna lie. Also, these 808s too, by the way. I don't know what I typed in, but I think I just typed in like best 808 one shots or samples or something like that. But favorite 808s, they seem to be pretty good quality 808s. I literally don't remember what I typed in. Alright, but I got it off like some Reddit pack. But they're not that bad. Alright. Compared to like if I got one of these drum packs and I looked through the 808s and all of these 808s are garbage. Like, I don't know. But maybe there's some secret to, making them not garbage once you try to use them. But yeah. I'm done yapping, to be honest.